up, guys? It is Hanging with Alpha, and guess what? We're going on a little road trip today. That's right, because yours truly is going to be stuck in the car for 5 hours. I'm headed down to see my buddy Steve, and he's from Tallahassee, Florida, and we're going to go to Florida and hang out with him for a few days. The funeral for his sister is going to be on Sunday, so I'll be coming back late on Sunday. But yeah, road trips suck. I don't think anybody hates driving worse than myself. My wife Tracy didn't come along with me. I asked her actually not to. You may find that odd, but for this trip, I wanted to go down and just me support my friend Steve. You know, the funeral isn't until Sunday. His girlfriend isn't coming down until Sunday, so I just thought it'd be a great opportunity for me to basically, you know, go down and just really support him. I mean, if he wants to get drunk, we're gonna get drunk. If he wants to, you know, go and cry, then we'll cry. You know, I talked to him yesterday, and he was in the process of writing his sister's obituary. Not fun. Today I called him, said, hey, 5 hours, I'm gonna be there, get the bourbon, we're ready. And he was at the funeral home talking about the funeral. And so I think it's definitely going to be a nice surprise and change of pace for his buddy Alpha to come down and just hang out. You know, but this got me thinking a little bit about friendship. And, you know, is there anything really more powerful? Now, granted, you know, the love that you have for children or for your parents or for your family members, some of your family members, you know, because that's another thing, unconditional love. I do not believe that just because you're related to somebody that you have to love them. Absolutely not. There are a lot of people that I know that have had really bad situations with maybe their parents, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, and there is nothing in my mind that says that you absolutely have to love somebody just because they're blood related. You know, because, you know, I got some people that, actually no, I don't have that many people, but I know that there are people out there, like some of my friends, you know, my wife. I mean, there are some people that are related to you that really are crappy people, and you don't necessarily love them. But that being said, you know, a good friendship is something that is pretty much second to none. And friendship is an interesting thing to me. I've been analyzing friendship for the past few years and really thinking about it. And because I don't have that many really close friends. When I was in high school, and when you were in high school, you had a lot of friends. You had a lot of acquaintances, I would call them. But you were friends because you have experienced and you have grown up together, and so that's what you had in common, and that's what the bond was your experience and your proximity to these people for so long. But an interesting thing happened. When I went away to college, it was a totally different experience. I didn't know anybody, and talking to you guys, I'm not paying attention to road signs. I think I just have to say on 75 south until like exit 64. If I miss something, you guys are in trouble. If my wife knew that I was filming this, she would kill me. Anyway, just because of the whole danger factor. But anyway, so friendship, when I went to college, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't know anybody. And so at that point, I started to basically connect and develop friendships with people that I actually liked and I had things in common with, but not the same things in common that you have with high school buddies. From high school, I only keep in touch pretty much with one person. And prior to Facebook, it was this one person. Now with Facebook, you keep in touch with people, but it's more like a voyeuristic, hey, I know what they're doing, and to be completely honest, I really don't care what most people from my high school or my high school friends are up to. You know, yeah, it's good to see that they're doing well and all that, and I have nothing but love for them. Well, I don't know that I necessarily would say I have love for them, but I have fond memories of them, and that's really what, anyway. This is going to be 5 hours of rambling alphaness like you have never experienced before. I got coffee, I got a camera, I got open road. Anyway, when I went away to college though, I started meeting people and I became friends with people that I had more in common with. Because it was an open book, and so I really developed some good friends in college. And from college, I have like 2 friends that I keep in touch with now. After college, that's really when the friendships that I have developed have really solidified and become, you know, really my closest friends. I don't have that many friends. I have a lot of people that I'm friendly with, but as far as people that I consider my core, really solid, close friends, I'd say they're probably 5 or 6. Do I see them every day? No. Do I talk to them every day, every week, every month? Absolutely not. My good friend just moved away to Tampa, Mike, and, you know, I miss him like crazy, and I was devastated when he left Atlanta, but hey, he's got to follow his career. But Steve has been there for me, with me. We have developed a friendship. Gosh, it's been, I guess, about 13, 14 years now. Ever since I had the nutrition store, he actually was a customer there. Then when I opened my fitness center, he became a member, and he was actually, Steve, the guy we're going to see, was the reason that Alpha M actually came to be. He is the meteorologist that started it all. You want to hear that story? I got time, you? Alright, here's the story of Steve. Alright, so picture it. The year is 2005, and I had my fitness center, and my buddy and Steve was a client, and he would always come in and ask me about my outfit. He would always talk to me about what I was wearing. Well, one day he came in, he said, "Aaron, I got a hot date." I said, "Okay, cool." And he's like, "I don't know what to wear." And I said, "Oh, no problem, Steve." I said, "Why don't I come over to your house and we'll see if you have anything to wear, and if not, you know, we'll go shopping." He's like, "Oh, that sounds great." And I said, "And while we're at it, you need to trim your nose hair. Your ear hair is a little out of control, and we should just stop by my friend Steven's salon and get your hair cut." And he was like, "Okay." And so we went out, we did all that, we got him hooked up, the date was great, and he went back to work. And some people started noticing. Some of the females that he worked with were like, "Hey, you look good, what happened?" And he told them, "Hey, my buddy, he took me shopping, and we did all this, we did all that." Well, anyway, a funny thing happened. About 3 months after I took Steve shopping, I get a phone call from some woman that he worked with saying, "Hey, you know, I know that you took Steve shopping, would you take my husband shopping?" And I'm like, "Really? Yeah, sure, I guess." And she's like, "Well, how much do you charge?" I said, "Charge? I don't charge." And she's like, "Well, I have to pay you something." I'm like, $50. And she said, "Okay." And so I took him shopping. Well, I kept getting, every few months, I would get a phone call of somebody else wanting me to take either them or their husband shopping. And so I had the opportunity to sell my fitness center, which I absolutely hated. My whole dream, my whole life, was to own a fitness center. When I was 14 years old, I want to own a gym. When I was 16, I want to own a gym. I remember sitting shotgun with my grandfather, driving down the road when I'm 15. He goes, "What do you want to do with your life, Aaron?" I said, "I want to own a gym, period." There was nothing else for me. So I ended up opening a gym, and I hated it. I have never been so miserable in my life because of the stresses that come along with having overhead of $40,000 a month. Not good. Anyway, getting a little congested here, folks. Anyway, so I had the opportunity to sell my gym, and I jumped at it. And so my wife then said, "You know, Aaron, what are you going to do now? You're going to get a desk job." And being a serial entrepreneur, I'm like, you know, I've been thinking about this business, about helping these guys, you know, normal, everyday, average guys look better. And she goes, "You're kidding me, right?" I'm like, "No, seriously, I think there might be a market." And she's like, "Get a desk job." I said, "I'll tell you what, we've got a little bit of savings. We'll be okay for about a year. Let me try to build this business. And if it doesn't work, if I don't make as much money as I did my last year of owning the fitness center, then I will give it up and get a desk job and go work for somebody." Wink, wink, that was never going to happen. So I did. And the first year out of the bat, I made, you know, twice as much as I ever did owning a gym, and just have loved it ever since. And that is really how my image consulting got started, was because of Steve, the guy I'm going to see. We've been best buds forever, and it's sort of like my buddy Will, where Will, you might have remembered the other Hangin with Alpha video that I did where I interviewed Will and we sat down and talked. But it's sort of like that, in that on paper, Steve and I shouldn't be friends. He's, you know, 10, 20, you know, 15 years older than me. You know, just different background, different, you know, growing up, education, all that. Education is actually pretty similar. You know, on paper we shouldn't be friends, but we are the best of friends, and he is probably the best person that I know. And you know, I can't get down there fast enough to support him. But yeah, I mean, friends are, he's a friend for life, and I can honestly say that I would do anything for him, and I know that he would do the same for me. And so those type of friendships should be cherished, because they don't come along often, but when they do, you know, it's important to acknowledge it, and don't let anything come in between, you know, your friendship with this person. And here's the thing, being friends with somebody doesn't mean you're not going to have disagreements or arguments. That happens, but you need to be good enough friends and be a big enough person to learn how to apologize. And you know, and sometimes you might think you're right, but you know, for the sake of the friendship, you know, who cares, you know, who's right, who's wrong. The bottom line is you need to commit to your friendship and stay solid. Never let a woman come in between you. If somebody else is, guys, I'm telling you, friends will be there forever. Women, maybe not. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with my road trip and jam out to some tunes. What's on? Yeah, I almost forgot to, did I just say yo? I almost forgot to tell you, funny story. So I'm driving down to Florida, right? Yeah, just me and Steve's parents. Seriously, they're in the trunk. Steve just sends me a text message of some things he wants me to bring. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, so I'm at his house. I'm reading the text message, I'm like, okay, suit, shirt, tie, shoes. My parents' urns. I'm like, it's like the music stopped. I'm like, uh-huh? Because I get, I'm not like too weird about that stuff, but I'm weird about that stuff a little bit. I think it's the Italian in me. We're incredibly superstitious. Not that superstitious. It's not like I freak out with black cats or anything much. So anyway, so he tells me, he's like, yeah, my parents' urns are in my closet above. I'm like, okay. So I get the urns and they're in my trunk, but I just thought it was funny. I told Tracy, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm just cruising down to Florida with Steve's parents, and she thought that was the funniest thing. So yeah, we're having a little road trip. We're gonna play some games, sing some songs. I almost tried to talk him out of it, like, okay, well, really, do you think it's a good idea? And I figured, you know what, dude just lost his sister. If he wants his parents to come, damn it, I'm gonna bring his parents. It's still kind of freaky.